Okay, let's get into this one right here. LeBron James is at it again. At it again. And this time, a fan of the Lakers. We don't know if he's just a Laker fan or he's just one of these guys that supposedly bought these high-ass price tickets when he thought LeBron James was going to announce his retirement the other day. And the news on the wire is he feels, according to him and his lawyer, that he was tricked. He was tricked and kind of coerced by LeBron James pulling that stunt, acting like he was going to retire. It never did. Now, I'm going to tell you, I call BS on the whole thing, and this story is just made up. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. The whole story is just made up about this guy wanting to sue LeBron James. It's just made up. It's just entertainment and nonsense. And people will run with it because a lot of people on YouTube, they'll run with everything because they like to get patted on the back by the YouTube system. They don't like to live in reality. Nevertheless, the decision part 2, what would that mean? If the decision part 1 was about him going to another team, the decision part 2 would not equal retirement. How's that? If this is part 2 of the decision, and in decision 1, he went to another team, why would decision part 2 be retired? And that's why I told you guys, even though I fell for it, but I didn't fall for it in the sense that I was just trying to, throw it out there. Maybe this is what he's going to do. I didn't think he was retiring, because to me, or no, I take it back. I did say he was going to retire. I thought he was going to retire, but that was going to be it. He was going to walk off. He wasn't going to play the rest of the season. Remember, he hasn't played in any preseason game. Okay? And he's not going to play in any preseason game at all. So I didn't think it would fit him whenever he's going to do it, whenever he is going to retire, for him to announce that he's going to retire before the season starts. Because he's not going to get that type of send-off like a Michael Jordan, like a Kobe Bryant, like a lot of these great guys. It was their last year. This is how it is. We don't have to go through the list. LeBron James isn't that dude across the league. You have fans basically taunting this guy, telling him to retire. He sucks. He's a flopper. He's this and that, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have love from the fan base all around the NBA. He just don't. I don't know why people think that it's going to be the same as the other all-time greats when they retired. It ain't. It ain't. Michael Jordan didn't even get his correct send-off to me. He didn't. Now, because it was with the Wizards. Now, he was kind of getting like unofficial send-offs in 98. It was really unofficial. It was unofficial. So it was just like, it was just like, this is the end of Mike, but it's not. It was just unofficial. So the official one for Mike was in Washington. In whatever, man. It just wasn't the same. Even though Michael Jordan's, he did have a official send off with the Wizards across the entire NBA. That one, even though we know that wasn't Mike in '98 going out. I think that one with the Wizards is still going to be better than the one LeBron James will get in the future. The only thing about it is that's going to make it worth a damn for him is they're going to be lying. Every last arena he plays in, they're going to be lying. The announcers are going to be lying, and they're going to get paid to lie. The play-by-play guys of those teams, they're going to get paid to lie. The announcer that plays all the music, calls all the games and stuff like that, he's going to get paid to lie too. But it still ain't going to stop the fans from booing this nigga. It ain't going to stop the fans from saying, good, You're a flopper. Get out of here. You ruin the NBA. You're going to hear a lot of that stuff by a lot of these fans who know that don't like LeBron James. But anyways, that might be a whole different story in itself when he announces that. Like I said, to me, it's better that he just retires. Say he plays the rest of this season, or he plays this season, and then he don't come back. He just announces his retirement, and that's it. He don't get a send-off. I think that's going to be better for him. And I think it'll be better as far as they won't try to look into his legacy as much when he retires with any allegations. He just, poof, be gone. That's it. So to me, like I said either he's going to, if he does retire, or for the announcement he made the other day, either he's going to call retirement and don't play the rest of the season, just walk off, or he's announced that he's getting traded to another team because it's a decision part 2, or he was going to another team. Well, he would have to get traded this time. So, I thought it had to do with something with going to another team because it was decision part 2, but none of that happened. So for the young guy, or I don't know if he was young, but for the person who bought the tickets and got swindled by himself, he swindled himself, basically. This is on him. And from what I heard, this news came from TMZ. That's the kicker, folks. TMZ is the source of this nonsense. Wow, and you really expect us to believe this? Really? You really expect us to believe this nonsense? That TMZ, we're supposed to believe TMZ? Wow, what a bullshit story. If this is the case, a lot of people will be suing, because from what I heard, some people bought the tickets other than this guy. But this will just be a laugher to show people you can't sue. So it'll get, this fake case will get turned down in court, and nobody else will be able to sue. Nobody else will be able to sue. And to me, this is just another, just some more ish to keep LeBron James in the limelight, keep him in the spotlight. That's it. Some more stuff. Some people think I'm being harsh when I talk about these international players and these top 5 players. I'm not. I'm sick of it. How come they can't move their own game? Every day or every other day, LeBron James has to be the talk of the NBA. Every other day. This isn't, like I said, you can't come back from this. You can't. You ain't coming back from this. When this guy retires, that's it for the NBA. Nobody cares about the NBA once LeBron James retires. You can't sell me SGA, Joker, Luka, Giannis once this guy retires. You can't. That ain't what's happening. You ain't been selling your league based on these guys. These guys are 7, 8, 9, 10 years in. Most of these guys who are top 5, except for Victor Wembanyama, and they can't even move their own prime. They can't even move their own prime NBA. It has to be LeBron James, and maybe like Kevin Durant, Kawhi, all these other guys. Bronny James. These guys are moving to 2020s. We're halfway through the 2020s. And these guys I mentioned are moving to NBA. And these other guys I mentioned, they're not moving to NBA. The problem is the guys, one of the set of guys I mentioned, they're out of their prime. That's it for them. The other set of guys, they're in their prime and they're not moving to NBA. Okay? That's the reality of it. This is what's moving the NBA. Trigger. And it's not moving by greatness. On-court greatness. On-court greatness means, yes, you got to have a soap opera to the game. But there's no on-court greatness. There's no rivalries. There's no 60-win team showing up and battling each other in the finals. Right? Where's that at? Where's the rivalries? How come it ain't a rivalry, between Giannis and Joker, SGA and maybe Anthony Edwards? Where's the rivalries? Where's the on-court greatness? Where's your great players participating in the dunk contest? Where they at? How's a plumber winning the dunk contest? Hell, you don't even have your great players now even showing up to All-Star Weekend as far as the dunk contest, the three-point contest, the skills, and all that. You don't even have these people showing up no more. You don't have top-notch celebrities showing up no more. You don't have this stuff no more. Whether it's musicians, movie stars, you don't have it. Because you don't have no on-court greatness. You have a guy that won 3 MVPs, and you won't even let him be the face of the NBA. What kind of nonsense is that? You're not promoting a 3-time MVP as the face of the league? Hey, you wanted to be all these international players at the front? Fine. Come on, let's go. Why aren't they the face of the league? Why isn't Joker the face of the league? Hell, at this point, Bronny is more face of the league than Joker. Seriously. And these are the people that want me to take Joker serious. Every time I turn around, Scat making a video and trying to put Joker as the greatest this, greatest that, he plays in the same era as Bronny. He plays in the same era as Bronny. So at what point do you want me to take, Joker's era? I wouldn't say at what point, but how much do you want me to take Joker's era serious? I'm just saying. I'm just saying Bronny James doesn't get into the NBA in the eras that I grew up watching. He don't. You know why Michael Jordan's sons didn't get into the NBA? You want to know why? Well, you'll probably say, because they weren't good enough. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, definitely. But they really didn't get in the NBA because Michael Jordan respected the game. Michael Jordan respected the game. I don't even think Michael Jordan was playing anymore when they were able to get in the game. Or that might have been his Wizard years or whatever like that. But Michael Jordan respected the game of basketball, period. He respected the players. And he respected the fans. So if he brought his sons into the game and they didn't earn it, guess what? What did I just say? That would be disrespecting the fans, disrespecting the players, and disrespecting the game. So he would never do that. He would never say, I'm Michael Jordan, and those are my sons. They're getting in because I'm Michael Jordan. He would never do that. He would never make a mockery out of those 3 things. The fans, the game, and out of the players. But this is all you have left for the NBA. The NBA is on life support. I can't breathe. They're on life support. So all they have is gimmicks. Is gimmicks. Gimmicks, 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 gimmicks. There could never be a guy like LeBron James doing this in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. He could never pull off these stunts that he's doing in his later ages, or even when he was doing this shit in the 2010s. It wouldn't work in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. You know why? Because real men play basketball. Real men were owners of teams. Real men were coaches. Real men were officials. It was real men down the damn line. What he does is he pushes this childlike, feminine culture. That's what he does. That's what he does. Now his channel is back. Mind on the money. Mind on the money. This is what pushes the NBA. So while the NBA season is going, his new season is going, and the NBA won't be talked about as far as these great players or these great players in this era. They won't be talked about. Only thing that'll be talked about is the Lakers. Them not clicking. Aiton's the bad guy. This ain't working out with the Lakers. Why are they the AC? LeBron James ain't playing defense. What LeBron James is saying on the Mind on the Money podcast. All this stuff, folks. Remember, like I said, for the Greek Freak, the SGA, the Joker, and all these 2020 guys, your legacy is falling by the waist. They're wasting your prime in the NBA with this guy's shenanigans. When he says, I can play another 2-3 years. What does that mean for your legacy? Well, for one, it means, like I said, you ain't winning another championship. We are. I can talk about that every single day. Or every time I make a video on this fool. And I want the NBA to prove me wrong. I want Joker, Giannis, SGA, Tatum, Curry, all y'all prove me wrong. I bet you can. And I'll say it again. As long as LeBron James is playing, none of these guys who won a championship in the 2020s will not win another championship. They won't. So if you want to be technical about it, the only guy, or the guys that's coming up next to win a championship, is either Anthony Edwards or Luka. And LeBron James will get the Finals MVP. That's it. Anthony Edwards or Luka. To me. Prove me wrong. Anthony Edwards was. What happened is, you see it every year. The champion. What do? Do they even go back to the finals? No. They get hurt. They get hurt. Something happens. They choke. They don't even make it back to the finals. All these players that already won, they coming up lame with these fake injuries. I seen something on what was it? Sports and Fitness Rants in AOH. This guy came on there. I forget his name. He was talking about all these NBA players got these injuries that you only suffer basically because you're not doing explosive running back and forth all game. You're just suddenly exploding, and then boom, bam, boom, you get these injuries. He was saying it's the type of way the NBA is played today. It's not physical. These guys low manage. They only run 3-point line to 3-point line. And I say, yeah, that could be true. But I don't believe these guys are getting hurt. I think they're just fake, false injuries. So they don't have to live up to winning. So when they get hurt, you can say, oh, yeah, he got hurt. That's why this happened. That's why this team didn't do this. That's why this player. No. No, this is part of the script. They keep these guys from living up to what they're supposed to do. This wasn't back in the day where these guys, if you won, you won. If you lost, you lost. But most of these guys went down battling. You can't say, oh, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem, Barkley, all these guys in the 90s, the 80s. When they lost, they went down. Losing, playing good, playing great. The better team just won. Now, these dudes is just losing because they ain't showing up to the damn game. They get injured and all this nonsense. And we'll talk about like Victor Wembanyama. He wasn't going to make the playoffs. So they came up with some bull-ish. And I want to tell you, if y'all believe it, man, he ain't held accountable. Now, because he missed the playoffs, he was going to miss the playoffs, he wasn't going to make it. Now they can say, oh, he got this happened, blah, blah, blah. Dame time. To me, a fake injury. So he didn't have to live up to what he got brought to Milwaukee for. It's just nonsense. Tatum ain't win another championship. Fake injury to me. You can't win a championship. And plus, they was getting their ass beat anyways. So he just pulled off a fake injury. They would lose in New York anyway. All these little fake injuries to me, it's just these guys are making all this money. Supposedly, I don't think they are. But the fans think they're making all this money and they can't come through. They can't come through, guys. They can't come through. It's just crazy. They're making all this money supposedly and they don't come through. So it's better to fake an injury than be looked at it for not coming through. Who the hell is Tatum? That dude, you let Jaylen Brown get Finals MVP on you? And Drew Holiday? What did Drew Holiday get the what was it, the Eastern Conference MVP or something like that? And then they broke up that team. Come on, man. Why'd they break up that team? Because we already know. They don't want that team. Jaylen Brown, even though he choked it up, that's part of the script last year. Even though he choked it up, I really rather have Jaylen Brown than have Tatum. I think Jaylen Brown is a better player. I think offensively, all around, he's a better player. Probably not a better three-point shooter, but I think he's more physical. He definitely, I think, is a better defender than Jaylen Brown. I'm just saying. I think he's just a better all-around player than Jaylen Brown. I mean, what am I saying? I'm looking at something. Tatum is not better than Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is a better all-around player than Tatum. That's what I think. I'd rather have Jaylen Brown. Nevertheless, ain't none of these fools winning a chance. Greek Freak ain't win. We don't see how many times this guy done choked it up since he since he won his last championship. It's just been a joke. And then he gets dang time. Then we're told all this nonsense when he gets dang time how he's gonna win all these championships. People literally went out and paid and betted all this money for them guys to not do nothing the first season together. And then the second season literally did nothing again, folks. I think the NBA is making more money off of people losing money on betting on their games. They're making more money on that. Anyways, that could be a whole different video. As ESPN already has their odds-on favorites to win it again. And of course, they got OKC. You really think OKC is going to win? Prove me wrong. We already know Chet Holmgren can't stay healthy. So that's going to be easy for him to come up with some fake injury. And we already know Curry ain't got no help. So all it's going to take is Jimmy Butler to go down and they're finished. Horsemouth Buddy Hield ain't doing nothing. We thought Buddy was going to do something. He did nothing since he got over there. They ain't doing nothing. We already know Joker ain't going back. Joker had OKC in a game 7. And this dude was in Serbia in game 7 instead of being in Oklahoma. He was in Serbia. No, the dude was missing. He should have had the greatest game of his life. I don't care about no damn assists. This dude should have put up 50 and grabbed you 15 rebounds. He didn't show up. So ain't nobody proving me wrong until they prove me wrong. Ain't nobody. And then they had the nerve to even put this on ESPN and try to play it off with, all these different teams and this, what do you call it? What's the word? I forget the word now. But, they basically was talking about parity. They was talking about so much parity in the league. Why? Because LeBron James is still playing. And nobody is allowed to win another championship as long as this guy's playing. Nobody. Remember, he should have been out of the league or not talked about or pushed like that after his 6th finals blowout loss in 2018. 19, didn't make the playoffs. Okay, he got his bubble ring. He should have got the hell out. But everybody know it didn't count for shit. The next season, lost in the first round. He should have been gone or not been talked about like that no more. Or 22 when he missed the playoffs with his super team. That's it. Well, what about when Joker swept him and beat him 4-1 in back-to-back seasons with no help? Gone. Every time he fucks up and loses and meltdown and choke, somebody else has to suffer. This guy has to get traded. This coach has to get fired. But he's still in the league for the entertainment. Because I already told you guys, he's a clown act to piss people off, to have people still talking about the NBA because these international players ain't moving a needle. If they were, he will be gone. Trust me when I tell you this. I want it as much as you guys. I want to see Joker. I want to see SGA. I want to see Luka. I want to see Anthony Edwards and Tatum and all the rest of these guys that is their era take their rightful spot of the 2020s and push this fucking game. The Victor Wembanyama's. Please. I'm not hating on them. I'm telling you the truth of the matter. As long as LeBron James, when LeBron James retired, his son ain't shit, remember. Nobody cares about his son. Only reason why they're building his son up to be the circus act. So as long as LeBron James is in the league, Bronny stays in the league. So if LeBron James retires this year, right? Nobody will talk about Bronny after that. And his failures, he'll just be gone. But if LeBron James stays in the league, he's cementing Bronny's legacy in the league to be the next clown. You get it? So if LeBron stays in the league 2-3 more years, you're already used to Bronny. He's a fixture in the NBA, just a clown act. So he's going to be the one that moves the NBA. When I say move the NBA, I'm not talking about winning in greatness. That's over. When LeBron James choked in 2007, 9, 10, and then 11, they don't care about greatness no more. They kept pushing this guy after the chokes, the meltdowns, the letdowns, the blowouts, the ass kickings. They're running the NBA on a clown show. We got the evidence. I mean, like, the evidence is here. ESPN is a clown show. Today, they compared Asia Wilson's last shot, I think yesterday, in the playoff game, to Michael Jordan's last shot in '98. This is where we are, folks. The disrespect of Michael Jordan. This is supposed to be the greatest, what once was the greatest sports network of all time. And why they put that out there? Not because it's true, not because it's close to being true, not because it's close to being accurate, not that it was even a similar sequence of play, anything, or comparable. It's because this is what these people care about now. It's trigger shit. And when you have low IQ, low standards like this, guess who works there? A whole bunch of welfare workers. And when I say welfare workers, I'm talking about these aren't the best sportscasters, the best sports analysts, the best people that ever worked at ESPN. They're just welfare workers. People like Perk. I mean, they're firing everybody. And they got to give you some fake story behind why they always let somebody go. Because they can't afford to pay good people no more. If they wanted good people, or if they could afford to pay good people, they would. They can't. They don't have the money no more. So they go get welfare workers like Kendrick Perkins. And the rest of these fools. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, man. But I'm just... it's just something to be said with this LeBron James. Like I said, Mind on the Money podcast is coming back. I was shocked. This guy's got like 9 million subs or 8 million subs. Just a lie. This is. I'm getting accused sometimes of, somebody said, "Oh yeah, you're talking about American this, American that." Most of the world isn't American. No duh. What I'm trying to say is, I can only tell you as a United States American, because I don't like to limit the rest of the people in the Americas who for some reason are unaware, who live in Venezuela, Mexico, Ecuador, El Salvador, Brazil, Guatemala, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Belize, Haiti, Bahamas, Canada. All these people that live in the Americas are American. So I'm just saying, as an American that lives in the United States, all I can tell you is about the United States, the history, and what I've been seeing since I've been alive for, as long as I've been alive, over 40 years. But at the same time, I can tell you the history also of the land. Remember, the history of the land isn't told in school. What is told in school is corporate history, the world of commerce history. The United States corporation. Remember, school is a business. So they're telling you the business side of history of the United States. They're not telling you the history of the land. They're not telling you the history of the republic. They're telling you some made up history of the democracy, the corporation. A lot of fake history after Reconstruction, or Reconstruction hit. They're not telling you the real history before Reconstruction. And if they do tell you some of the history, they're just putting different faces, and they're putting, like half truth in it. That's all they're doing. And they can do that because it's not their obligation to tell you the real history, because they don't hide it. It's in books before Reconstruction. It's in maps. It's in the Library of Congress. It's all over the place. Universities. But people don't understand what different laws are. What the laws of the land is, and what laws are dealing with the world of commerce. So that's all I can do. All I can do is tell you the history here. And if that has to do with sports, if it has to do with religion, if it has to do with race, if it has to do with anything, just the history here, period. And I can do world history too. Like for instance, I can't go to Canada and tell those people history because I heard it in some book or something like that. I can't go to Guatemala and tell them their history. We have a big problem with the elders. Their lack of leaving any knowledge to the young people is just amazing to me. Because when you look at a lot of these elders, the only knowledge that they're going out with is religion and politics. That's all they have to talk about in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s. They're not leaving any knowledge to these young people. Whether it's history, anything, health, medicine, and I'm talking about natural medicine, and you're talking about chemical medicine. So anyway, I'm not trying to get crazy off base. But I can only tell you what I seen in sports when I was growing up. And what I seen in sports is what I'm trying to tell you is true. It's real. It might sound crazy because these people, it might sound crazy because everything has changed. But that's what's so crazy to me. That's what, and change is okay. There's always been change. But we can explain change at the same time. Sometimes change is good, but sometimes change is bad. So yeah, like I said originally, this whole thing about LeBron James being sued by some fool is cap. It's cap. Just to keep his name in there. Ain't nobody trying to sue this guy. Like always, this guy is, like I said, I made a video the other day. I said, let's stop blaming this guy because he's not that brilliant. He's not that smart. He's not that intelligent. This is the NBA pushing him because it's all they got. It's shenanigans. They don't have no greatness. They don't have no, if they have some greatness, when I say greatness, again, when I say if they had some greatness, LeBron James will be gone. I mean, these 2020 guys, if they were so appealing, so great, we wouldn't have the lowest ratings of all time right now. And that's with LeBron James being the clown act. And him having people talk about the NBA because he's a clown act. Imagine if he wasn't around for this clown act. The NBA, again, I keep trying to tell you, will be MLB ratings once this clown act disappears. Because the viewers are seeing these other guys and they don't want to watch the games. They're not sold on Luka and Joker and SGA and Giannis. They're not. If they were, the NBA would have dispatched a LeBron James ass 2-3 years ago and told Bronny, you ain't coming in the league. Think what you want to think.